Okay, we are now live from Arlington, Vermont. Um, okay, that is still silent, which is a good thing. Okay, pop that out. And snickerdoodle. That's a good type of cookie. I personally prefer macaroons, but that's just me. And my last live stream, which was on Wednesday, I have apparently have made a slight error. Because with the cab crew Wednesdays, going to be it was to do the fifth Wednesday. Well, apparently I did the fourth. Hello, Rick Boilermaker. So it's one of those things of I thought said, hey, if I'm an hour early, I guess I can, that's one thing I would be a mistake, mistake I could deal with. And now, hello, John, Nikki. I'm saying that right. And it's one of those things of, for some reason I have but you defer the cookie to wigwag when he gets here. All right. Well, if he gets here, he gets here. Kyle Stevens, thank you for coming in. And of course, now my nose itches. But yeah, actually, it was the fourth Wednesday, not the fifth. So I guess I'll have to turn around and do the fifth again anyway. It was also the northeast region of the NMRA was also doing. They were also doing a thing for all week, so there wasn't that many people there. So I wasn't too, it was one of those things of, it's like large organization or single channel. It was going to be, wasn't going to be enough people there, but there were enough people there. A decent amount, I would have to say, sort of like almost normal. But one of the things is that I did turn around, and since I have hit over 100 people, I did set up this as a giveaway. And one thing I haven't done yet, because I have been busy, is to turn around and go back through, find out who was on there, and put all the names in a basket, put them in a hat, and then pick out a name. I have not done that yet, so now I just got to remember to do it before the next one. Or I am also thinking about maybe was doing it sort of live with that, but at the same time, I haven't been able to find out exactly where with StreamYard you get something where you can turn around and add sort of like a Wheel of Fortune of, hey, you can do I forgot, I'm blanking out what they're called, but what you do is you turn around, you do hashtag and then whatever the word is, and StreamYard automatically puts into a sort of like a wheel of fortune of content contesters. I guess contesters, I guess, would be correct. But everyone who entered would be in this wheel, and it would pick one. And I've been trying to look for it on my screen, trying to figure out where it is. Because normally when StreamYard does something, they do it so it's like easy to find. So I don't know if that has to do with something that actually is a paid setup. But they make it sound like it's available to all levels of broadcasting, but I do not see it. So it's not obvious where it is. So I would think it would be under brand, because they do have like the video clips, backgrounds and stuff like that. So it would make sense it would be that way. But I don't. Oh, shouldn't I do not know, because it's not under banners. It's not under private chat or brand. I would assume it would be under brand. But I haven't been able to find it. So, how is everyone doing this evening? After that silliness is over, I guess I'll switch over to the other camera and start doing where I left off. Everything, the main base should be dry by now. But now, going in, now I'm going in and seeing about properly forming the new landscape on how this is going to be set up. And of course, I had thought I had my plaster available. Looks like I do not have my plaster on hand. So I guess we gotta go not necessarily a slightly different route, but probably be able to find stuff. But I'm doing a lot of things off screen, but I am here. Oh, all right. Amazing things that you find when you're not looking for it. That we got that. Aha, that is something I was looking for last week. Alright, well, it looks like we're going to have to go with the 3x5 cards, which I was missing last week. Start that way, and then later on look for where I put all my plaster stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely been a busy weekend for me also. One of the things that there is a possibly a week in April that I might have to take off, mainly because I was asked to do some kitten sitting, and there's since I'll be kitty sitting in a different, not at home. I will not be able to do the live stream there. All right, this is going to require lots of glue, lots of. Basically, I'm filling up the scraps with that particular area. Now this one, I might be able to get away with just using large stuff. There we are. Turn around, we'll crack this open, possibly even use the rest of this. Let's see, we point this camera down just a little bit. And move this up a little bit. And as you can see, you only have about fingers width left, so since there's a lot of needing to, didn't have to be completely covered, but enough to say that there's there. Not enough to make it perfectly flat, but enough to spread it out. And of course, since these 3x5 cars are pretty well dry, they'll do what they want to do, which is okay because we're not, this is not supposed to be perfect perfect man-made setups. So if it winds up being a little all over the place, so let it be. All right, let's say let's flip around, go that direction. These are going to be once I find wherever my plaster cloth is, it's going to be covered that way. So yeah, this looks like pretty much the end of this. And that's one of the things that you can wind up using, in my opinion, with the 3x5 cars, where you can turn around and layer stuff and make little shims out of out of everything. Like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect, because being covered in plaster cloth will take care of unevenness, or actually add to the unevenness. All right, now let's do this. And I'm pretty much out of glue now. Okay. Curve it that way. And sort of like put it over there. That's the sort of cover up the main gap of this. Maybe, yeah, let's go over this. This is sort of almost putting like a the cardboard strips, except that these are a lot thinner than cardboard. My idea right now is to cover up most of the gaps. Not necessarily all the gaps, but a good portion of them. Like maybe have like this here as a small little stream heading down here. So I don't really want to super cover that up. We'll go from there. And we'll grab as much glue as we can. Sort of spread around. As you see, it's being since the air is pretty dry right now. Adding glue all of a sudden wants to make the paper curl like crazy. But that's okay. Yeah, I think I might, put when making the rest of this stream and all that, have a, small stream coming off here, because, well, that's what water does. Keeping this more, I would say more a little bit above, sort of like make a hill here, pond there. Yeah, that'll work. I'll put yeah, that'll work that way. getting all the glue. As you can see, it's peeling up. So we'll push that down. Sort of cover this divot here. And it doesn't matter if if the lines are up or down, because, well, this is going to get covered anyway. So hello there, Kyle. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, this is definitely getting towards the end. So we'll put this there so gravity will do its thing. I might do that over here. Basically, what I'm doing right now is taking care of all the large gaps for this. Oh, this actually has 2 on there. That's why thought it was awful thick. I'll cover up that. And up here, yeah, mostly, as I said, mostly covering up the gaps. Didn't actually have to go too nuts on it, because once I find wherever the plaster cloth, I'm going to have to go on top and do that. One thing I might do, which might help things along, flattening stuff out, is to actually add a lot of extra water. This will definitely soften up the paper and make it not quite like paper mache. Definitely make it so it will be a lot more limp, maybe even add some of that. Go there. All right, that is done. Probably there's ways to scrape out more glue, but Why go that nuts? Okay. More. That. There's a Mod Podge, which we don't need right this second. Looks like we might find it later on. Of course, now that everything is all soft, it could be a little bit more confined. And bendable. Might have to turn around and use a very large file or something to make this right here a little bit more mountainous. This is the normal wet water where water with a little detergent in it makes things work out a little bit more. Alright, that's going to that might have to go a slightly different direction, but we'll figure it out. And go from there. Ooh. Well, the good news is I did find the plaster cloth. Bad news is it's the unopened roll. I know I have a roll that is unopened. I want to use that first before cracking into this one. But I do have it. Of course. It's one of those things I'll probably find it after I don't need it. After opening up the other one. But hey, that's the way sometimes things happen. Alright. Now, another thing I definitely want to do. Let's see. I don't want to open that up too much. There we go. And this might looks like this might be the quote downstream this way because this is lower than this. Not by much, but it's enough to make an obvious flow of water. So we'll have to go that direction. But then maybe adding the plaster cloth might wind up going the other direction. I don't know at this point. John's making dinner with thunderstorms on the way. And all right, see you later, Kyle. Food is important. So, all right. electronics. This wire. All right, we might have to change mid-gear. Going from one to another. But that might be okay because wind up finding a possible paint that I was looking for earlier. So we'll actually let's add one more over here. And then we'll put this aside. All nice and curled up. Let it touch the glue that is here. And we'll go from there. Alright, that should keep that out of trouble for a while that dries in the corner. And now that we've refound this, oh yeah, we can now finish the roof off of this. Ooh, actually, I just remembered something. I think I gotta move this over. So before we tackle the paint, let's move this back over a bit. I move this over. There's three little things to come off. There's one. There's two. The final one. There we go. Now, grab the little thing of super glue over here. And we shall put that on there. Line this up properly, and then we can add the paint. There we go. Start with the paint on this side. Give that enough time to dry off. All right, back to this. Now this bobber caboose is a Congoino Models caboose. Hashtag not sponsored. Chris I recently joined. Um, well, had his company join as a partner. So now you can get discounts through the NMRA for Congoino models. This is going to be slight of a challenge, trying to get around, trying to get the paint around the brake stand. So I got too much paint on the brake stand because it's supposed to have spokes. Well, hello there, Anthony Dodge. Thank you for coming in. I'm going to assume it's you are here after family activities. And basically finishing up the roof on this. Here, super glue should be finished by now, so I can go up against that. All right, now last thing to do is the black on that. So close that up. Try and think what black did I use before. This Payne's gray. That's cool gray. So I'm assuming it's this. Now this is an ink, so I'm not quite sure if this was what I was using before. Before we go too nuts, let's grab the pellets. As you can see, the pellet had black paint. Had black paint or yeah, I had I think this is what I was using before. This is a artist ink, which according to the website is the largest largest art supply in southern Vermont, or in Vermont itself, which I'm not quite sure how true that is. So it does cover up the metal. All right. Guess that will do. Let's double check with the first one I did, which it looks like it needs a little touch up there. Yeah, I think that's what I wound up using last time was the ink. It looks like the ink might not stay on as well. Might have to go with a different kind of black. But we'll carry on with this. And if I need to change, I'll change. The things I'm doing is sort of experimenting on stuff. Yeah, it's time for dinner. Time for dinner for a lot of people. Which is probably one of the disadvantages of this time slot, basically. Again, one of the things with this ink is that it looks like it goes on way too thick, but as it evaporates away, the liquid part winds up going on all the nicks and crannies. Let's get a little bit on the bottom. Hide all the shiny stuff. And you can see some of the rocks that I've added for weight, making sure it was properly weighted. And after everything dries, all I have to do is add couplers. Alrighty then. Now this one, I think I used driftwood on the top, or the color driftwood on the top. But yeah, I said say, except for the couplers, this is pretty much done. All right, what are we on at time here? Looks like I got another 15 minutes. So what can I do in 15 minutes? Well, guess what I can do in 15 minutes is think about this. Or one of these other structures that I got here. I'm trying to figure out different colors and all that. And obviously red brick. Or there is the possibility of yellowish brick. But definitely having the lower portion their own specific color, like, how I got this one is blue with brown on the inside. A lot of times I've seen like the brick is red, but then these are sort of like, I almost want to say I can probably get away with keeping them natural color. The windows themselves, I think they're normally painted, like on this one, white. Whereas these were inserts, these are actually molded into the plastic. Obviously, the rear door is going to have to be a different color. But then again, this nut might be seen. A lot of buildings like this, as you can see that the sides and the back are relatively plain. This is very decorative up front because normally you would only be seeing the front end. And as a cost-cutting measure, they would turn around and use very, I want to say substandard bricks, or the not pretty bricks in the back. And on the front, they would use the premium, very, very on the prettier bricks in the front. Or the higher, they would do only the high quality bricks in the front, and then they would use a lower quality brick in the back. Lower quality, I mean, as in looks, not necessarily of material. So they could be technically the same material, or the bricks would be made out of the same material, but these would not look as sharp as the ones in the front. Sometimes they would, the bricks on the front would be perfectly 90-degree angles on the corners, where these would be slightly rounded off. Oh, there's Split Rock. Thank you for coming in. Somebody was watching one of the NMRX programs, and they were complaining about how most of the model buildings are made in the Northeast region, so they all look like they're Northeast. And I'm like, that works for me, because that's exactly what I'm doing. So that, it works out for me. I do know that if somebody's trying to do like the western area and all, during the Western time and all that, that's the time that they can get buildings and all that. But anything that's not wild west winds up being a little bit hard to do. All right. So I'm slightly indecisive right now what to do. All right. This, I think, would make a decent yellow brick. The question is, do I want the yellow brick to be on the big building or the small building? I'm going to aim for the large building. Now, the challenge here is I want to do the brick in yellow, the wooden, the frames in white, and leaving the quote-unquote plastic concrete in the natural color, because not necessarily not not naturally concrete. Excuse me, naturally. Not sure what this is made from. I want to lean towards sort of the standard the standard kit color, which is sort of a brownish tan. Go from that direction. So do I have, I still model an HO scale. I don't have any 6-foot gauge trains yet. I have done track in 6-foot gauge. In fact, earlier the one I'm sort of like modifying right now, I had that done in 6-foot gauge, but I tore up the track. So I do not have anything specifically right now. Well, I do have whereas this one is the covered bridge. The uncovered bridge is actually still gauged to 6 foot. I just don't have it with me at this point in time. Right now, I'm in the process of trying to find a mentor that would scratch build steam engines, and hopefully that mentor will help me be able to scratch build and or modify equipment to make it so I can have 6-foot gauge equipment. My current idea, which I do have, and also congratulations on getting out of the hospital, Spurt Rock. Right now, I'm planning on this little thing. This is, I guess, called a teapot. It was made by, let's see. Well, this is made in Hong Kong, but I think this was available through Tyco. SMT Mainline did a thing on one where they took it completely apart, rebuilt it. I think he had a slightly newer model because the motor in his was a very early can motor, and this is I believe an open frame. Yeah, you can probably see it and all that. This does have a lot of issues. The way it's set up is that the front and the rear have gears on it, sort of like an old Lionel setup. Hence the reason why there's very large gaps in the side rods. Thing is, when taking this apart for the first time, the one gear literally just fell apart in my hand. So instead of having a gear in the front and the back, it only has the gear in the back. I am planning on rebuilding this a little bit more. Not only the 6-foot gauge, because the cylinders are wide enough to do so. Because if you can see here, see the massive spacers that are on this, because I believe this is OO, not HO. And I'm planning on calling it the Experiment because that's exactly what it's going to be. There are some major things that need to be fixed on this. One is to cut the cow catcher off, because since this is a switcher engine, it didn't have a cow catcher. Another thing is to move the headlight out a little bit and the smokestack, because the smokestack is not in line with the cylinders. But it's one of those things of also cutting off the coal load and putting wood on there. But it's one of those things that it's something that this was actually something I wasn't planning on. It came in a 2-pack of a locomotive that I did want. So I got this. I'm like, got it up running and all that. I really wasn't planning on doing with this, but then I came up with after measuring some stuff and all that, basically by removing that large spacer and putting like a small washer on there, bringing the wheels out and re-gauge them. This actually might come out as a decent 6-foot gauge locomotive. Everything is appropriate. One thing I might have to do is sort of also lower the height for it. But as I said, I'm planning on calling this the experiment, because that's what this is. Also changing the rear coupler to something that's more period appropriate, and the same thing for in the front. And plus getting rid of the cow catcher, maybe adding switcher floorboards in the front and back. Possibly getting on the cab, getting rid of all the rivets and make it more of a wooden cab, slightly lower. Because I'll borrow Rick. Now, Rick is, from my understanding, a very tall guy. Haven't met him in person, but he's very tall, and I think he's 6 foot something. And as you can see, with him being, supposed to be 6 foot and all that, and there's still a couple of feet above that door. So this is definitely an out-of-scale locomotive. So I look at it as a way to turn around and experiment with. As you can tell, the drivers ain't the prettiest. So again, if I screw this up, it was sort of kind of a, not necessarily a free locomotive, but not that disheartening if it doesn't work properly. And I might be looking for more of these, if this doesn't work, maybe look for another one of these to do the same thing and, keep on experimenting with. So, okay, what time is it now? After that long explanation. Yeah, he's 6'5", 6'6". He's a big boy. But so it shows that I'm using Rick as a sort of like a scale. Change the camera. Sorry for the jiggliness. So, all right, back to that's layouts, it's recordings, guest. All right, we'll go back to the front camera, and it looks like I'm running a little bit over. Then again, I didn't start exactly on time either. So now who is for Sidetrack Sunday? Is this Nissy's? Because this is the 5th week. Speaking of the 5th week, I made a slight error last week because I thought it was the 5th Wednesday. Ray Bobel. All right, thank you, Anthony. and I had thought that it was the fifth Wednesday, only to figure out that no, it was the second Wednesday or third. Wow, I'm doing pretty good. It was the fourth Wednesday, not the fifth. That also might be a reason why they're that and a combination of the NMRA X Northeastern region was also doing stuff at the same time. So I'm assuming that's why a lot of people were there. My idea is to go through that and turn around and pick the winner for this. It was supposed to be John, but he's busy, so Ray's filling in. Understood. Because I thought Ray was the first one, but this is tax season for John, so John does not have the John doesn't have the time to be able to do Sidetrack Saturday until I would assume until next month. Yeah, next month would be the right. Yeah, because it would be able to restart again this month or next month because it will be after the 15th. And it's also one where they got 5 weekends, so Nissy might be also showing up, I guess. My tax season was almost done 2 months ago. Well, what I usually try to do for the past couple of years, I haven't been very good at it because lost track of time and etc. So it was like almost to the last week. What I try to do is I try to get my stuff done early March. I think it's the low where things start. It's very low onto doing that, and then all of a sudden they have. Then when you got the last minute people in April, all of a sudden it's like they're all over the place. But for me, so I was trying for early March. Finally, was able to do it this year. I got mid March instead of early March, but close enough anyway. I know a lot of times, it's like, oh, you do your own taxes and all that. And the reason why I haven't been doing my own taxes because there's been so many changes in my personal life and all that I was just like going like, yeah, let somebody else take care of it. Mainly it gets, especially when I moved to Vermont, it's like going like, I do not know. I don't recognize how Vermont works and all that. So it's one of those things that's what I've been doing haven't really been looking at how to fill out the Vermont paperwork. So it's probably something I should probably actually consider. And the interesting thing is that I can either go south of Bennington or I can go north of Manchester to, use I've been using H&R Block, hashtag not sponsored. And apparently they're owned by 2 different franchises. And I was, for a while there, I was trying to get the one in Bennington, but they had when I first down there, we're going to be, back at 2:30. So I'm like, all right, I'll do something else. I'll come back and, the sign said open, but the door was locked and there was nobody in there. It was very confusing. Came back the next day. Lights are, the open sign's on, but the lights are not on and the door's locked. And after a while, it's like, all right, I got the stuff in the car. When I have to work on Monday, I'll go to that one. But that one's online. It said appointment only. So I just turned around after work, went in there. There's a sign that says walk-ins welcome. So I'm confused, but I went in. There was a woman there that was able to take my paperwork. But apparently they turn around and take the paperwork and they send it to Poughkeepsie in New York, which sort of is like sort of, I would have to say, annoying, because you want to actually have live people, and it seems that everything is going more and more electronic, and pretty soon it's like, well, where's the people? But that's just me, because it's one of those things of, they want people to buy stuff, but if there's no one working, how are they going to buy stuff? Don't know. But enough of that soapboxishness, I guess. Not really a. I'm not sure if I want to call it a rant, but uh, there's when it comes to rants, usually there's a lot of, and I'm just like, But in that case, then I would have to say I think the world needs more love. So find your passion, add some silliness to it, and spread it around.